Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. Hey, what's up, Giants fan? Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast. I am Mike. That is Jules, and that is John. Guys, let's just get right into it, man. How's your weekend? Like, what happened? Any good news on Sunday?
Listen, I don't know about any good news, right? But I was smart about things in a way, right? I went and enjoyed myself on Saturday, just relaxed, had a few drinks, took care of a few things, getting ready for the holidays, a week away, and then I said to myself, fuck it. It's Saturday night, it's kind of nice out. Let's go have some drinks, right? You got some games on, some college football games, all that kind of good shit. There was one NFL game, right? I think, or something like that, whatever. So I got feeling kind of nice on Saturday night, and I woke up on Sunday kind of feeling like I usually have in the last few weeks on a Sunday, a little groggy, a little hungover. And normally what I'll do is I'll go eat a nice big breakfast. I'll kind of like power through the day. By the time the game comes on, I'm a little hungover, but not too much. But, I said, fuck it this week. I literally just said, you know what? I'm not powering through shit. I'm not going to sit through this miserable game on Sunday where I'm going to see more Cowboy fans at my home stadium. I went up, woke up, made myself a nice, strong, double shot Irish coffee to start the day. And I just kept that shit going. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't remember much of the second half, but I don't think I missed much.
You missed Jake Fromm fucking in one drive do more than Mike Glennon did the entire game.
I think I sobered up briefly for that. I said, wait a minute, Glennon's not in anymore. He's not throwing interceptions?
No, but
this is fantastic. Put in Fromm.
Everybody's hyped up over that, but he was going against Cowboys prevent defense where they were backing up 20 yards. I'm like, I think anybody could complete those kind of passes. So I think the hype train from Fromm needs to fucking chill. I think if he goes in there and starts, it's going to be worse. Can you imagine that being worse than Mike Glennon?
Nah, I don't know, man.
I think
so. Don't get much worse than Mike Glennon. Look,
we might not score zero.
I hear he's a really good guy. I hear that he's a good mentor in a way. Look, it sounds like the guy's got a promising future as a coach. Like, that's what Mike Glennon might be, like down the line somewhere, he'll be fucking on the sidelines. They'll bring him in slow. Maybe starts off as a quarterback coach. I mean, maybe that's what he is. Look, he's got a hell of an advantage, right? He's always going to be able to overlook everybody whenever he's on the sideline. So, he's already started
because of his long neck. I think my man got
he just looks over the sideline, no matter where he is. He can see the field.
If you check him, like if you send him into 21andMe or whatever, and check his DNA, it has to have giraffe DNA in there somewhere, dude. Like, that shit is just too weird looking, man. It's like somebody put him in a headlock in grade school and just never let go until 5 years later. You know what I mean?
He was like in a headlock since he was like an infant, right? And he just kept staying in the headlock. Like, he must have had an older brother we don't know about or something. I don't know.
It's so another head was sticking out the side of his neck, man. It's so weird.
Think about this. Think of what he looks like in real life, because he's actually 6'7". And when you see somebody 6'7" in person, bro, you're like, whoa, like that's a big motherfucker. And then to see a neck that's probably close to 9-10 inches long in person, it's like the size of your whole head. You can swallow you like a fucking anaconda if you wanted to.
Bro, dude, there's got to be some fucking Halloween pictures of him somewhere about him dressed like some kind of weird alien or giraffe or something.
Earthworm Jim.
Like, it's got to surface, dude. Like, we're ever going to resurrect Mike Glennon and have him have something positive to talk about? We can bring that up, like Halloween 1985 or something.
He needs a special shirt with a high collar that goes all the way up. Not, you know what I mean? Is there even such a thing? For people like that?
He couldn't even wear a turtleneck, right? Because if he did, the turtleneck wouldn't fold over. It might just be straight up.
It would look normal, probably. It would look like a regular size collar.
I mean, listen, that's what the Giants season has become at this point in time. Literally has come down to us just making fun of a backup quarterback. We don't know if Daniel Jones is going to be back next year. I mean, look, guys, I'm going to start to say it. Look, this is just something that's going to float out there. We don't need to really dive into it this evening because we're going to have plenty of time during the offseason. There's a possibility that we may have to look for a Daniel Jones replacement, and that's slowly becoming a real thing. And I know you don't want to buy it.
That's not.
I know you don't want to buy it. I know you don't want to think that, look, oh, it's never going to happen. But look, there's a reality here that he may not be healthy, right? I mean, you look at guys like Peyton Manning who did not come back from certain neck injuries. We don't know the severity behind it. This guy's hurt every year now. This was supposed to be his breakout year. Granted, there was tons of injuries that fell apart around him. But again, he has, 10 touchdown passes with 7 interceptions. They're not overwhelming numbers. There was nothing that you could say where you could take, like, maybe except for the Washington game, which was week 2 of the season, that you can literally sit back and be like, yo, this guy had a good year. He was trying his hardest and got hurt. He'll be back. Don't worry about it. There's not much to be excited about looking forward with Daniel Jones in the future. But again, this is something that's going to be debated in months to come, especially with the new year a week away and all this kind of coming on with the draft and what should be done and how the rest of the season does and what this actual neck injury is, because we're not told anything. It goes from a neck strain to some sort of pulled neck. Who the hell knows what it is? The guy's out a month with a neck injury. Like, it doesn't sound like it's that not serious.
I changed my ways, John. Like I kind of changed a little bit. I'll let you go, John, because I know what you're going to say about keeping Jones around.
I mean, I would be floored if John Mara fired Joe Judge. I think Joe Judge is a I think he believes in Daniel Jones. I think he likes Daniel Jones to be his quarterback. And I just don't see them yet moving on from him. I don't know. I mean, if somebody falls in their lap, Aaron Rodgers becomes available, something like that, sure. Well, but I don't know. I just don't see them not using this upcoming offseason to continue to build around him. And then after that, do what you want to do. You want to cut him. You want to fucking, you want to draft somebody under him, let him start and let the young guy take over after. There's too many reasons to keep him and not a good enough one to let him go. We've seen him be productive. We've seen the relationship, the way, the respect that they have for each other. And unless Joe Judge gets fired, which, like I said, I'd be floored if Mara fires Joe Judge. I don't know. Not for one of these kids that are coming out this year.
Well, what about this? Here's a scenario that's been getting tossed around. I just want to kind of stay hot with this one while John brought this up. There's a lot of talk. What if we got a bridge stop quarterback to be his backup? Instead of these, Mike Glennons and Colt McCoys that aren't guys that are true guys that can actually step in and really start. They're more of a just-in-case type quarterback. What if you went after one of these other guys, like maybe a Mitchell Trubisky who's on the Bills, right? Or a David Carr who's a free agent, or a Jimmy Garoppolo who may become a free agent. And Garoppolo's contract, I think, is still a little over the price, but you start bringing in something like that that's actually a quality backup, a guy that can challenge Jones for that number 1 spot. Now, if you build around that type of team, even if the quarterbacks don't work out or Jones doesn't beat him out for the job, at least now you built around it with a guy that's actually played in games and won some football games, not like a Mike Glennon or a Colt McCoy. It's just something to ponder and keep in mind. But that's also an idea of a bridge court, because then maybe the following season there's better quarterbacks in the draft.
Here's the problem with that. If you're going to be using the resources to get somebody like fucking David Carr or something like that, or Jimmy Garoppolo, those quarterbacks are not going to be cheap. That's not like a Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota, like real low-end contract. You're going to be paying those guys. And if you do take that route, that's assets you're no longer using to help see if Jones is the guy. So you gotta put fucking 2022 on the table. Use every possible asset to see if the marriage between Joe Judge and Daniel Jones, Joe Judge as a head coach and Daniel Jones as a quarterback, with what should be an upgraded roster around them in terms of offensive linemen and the people on the team are the people on the team. They're not going to be cutting many people at all that they don't have somebody behind them. But we're going to take a significant step back on any point in the roster. Like Blake Martinez got restructured, not going anywhere. Bradbury got restructured, not going anywhere. Leonard Williams just signed. Like the cornerstones of our team aren't going anywhere next year. So use the rest of what you have to continue to see if Joe Judge and Daniel Jones are the guys you need going forward. Using assets, 10, 12, $15 million a year. Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo are starting quarterbacks that with teams that are contending for the playoffs right now. Really, they should be getting $20, $25 million probably. How you
we'll see. Like I said, it's just a little foreshadowing there with some of the possibilities that we will be covering in there. But I know, Mike, you wanted to get something in too, no?
Yeah, I did. basically like when you're talking about Judge and Jones, like the quarterback and the head coach are pretty much tied at the hip. You can't have success without one or the other. You know what I mean? Like Pete Carroll had Russell Wilson. Belichick had Tom Brady. The list goes on. So basically, if Jones ain't Judge's guy, if Judge really wants to go after Russell Wilson and get him here, and Russell Wilson and his wife, it definitely seems like they want New York. And if he wants it, I think that's a strong possibility they move on from Jones, just basically because, like Jules, what you were saying, with Jones being hurt for 3 years in a row, you can't trust him. And like a lot of quarterbacks don't get hurt like him. We got lucky with Eli. He never missed a game, but there's other quarterbacks that they're there every week. Rodgers playing with a broken toe. Brady, the list goes on. Russell Wilson came back in like 3 weeks with a finger that probably would have kept, most guys out the year. So I can see them making a move like that. I really do. And I think if Judge wants to have success long term, he's going to want his guy. I don't know if Jones is really his guy right now. I think that's a big question mark going into this offseason.
Well, listen, the only thing that I say about Russell Wilson, he's a hell of a quarterback. I've taken him on plenty of my fantasy teams. I just am not ready to give up 3 first-round picks for him. 2 this year, 1 next year. And listen, I don't even know if I want to give up 1. You're talking about possibly 2 top 5 picks or definitely within the top 7 of the draft for Russell Wilson, who's in his 30s. No, thank you. And to come in on a team that the offensive line is still not ready for him, so he'll be running around for his life. You have Saquon Barkley, who obviously I would love to see him have a full, at least 14-game season maybe next season, right? We don't know what's going on with Kenny. Like, there's just too many question marks on this team to go out and spend capital, especially draft capital, on a guy like Russell Wilson. But again, like I said,
he'll play for 10 years, Jules. He wants to play in his 40s. So it's
is he Tom Brady, though? Is he Tom Brady?
Right. Anybody could say that. There's been one guy to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But he looks like another guy that could do it. I'm just saying. Like, I don't necessarily want him here either, because I don't want to give up all that draft. We got so many draft picks. It should be a plenty ammunition for Abrams to fucking make some good moves and build the line and get a defensive pass rusher and another linebacker. We have a lot of draft picks, man. So I'd keep everything. So that's just me.
Well, like I said, that's definitely some foreshadowing of things to come. But for now, we're living in the current day, a week before Christmas or so. Actually, a little less than that at this point in time. Yep. But now we need to have a little fun. And I know, Mike, you definitely wanted to bring up something, right? There was at the end of last week, John had gotten a little excited about some news that he had received in an email or a text. And Mike just couldn't help resist. Mike, you want to get a little more detail as to what that news was?
So like I see, like, John was so excited. I thought he was gonna show us like the next Mona Lisa, right? So I opened up like the little picture, and I'm like, all right. And I went to bed. I didn't say nothing right there. I was like hoping Jules would react, because I didn't think I didn't know if I had bad taste. You know what I mean?
Jules has his poker face on.
It is, yeah, like you said before, it's very like detailed. Like I like the detail, like whatever like stands out is sharp. But it reminded me like Tecmo Bowl. And then we were sending out like the group text around to see like get everybody's opinion. Like one guy wrote like every time he looks at it, he feels like puking. Another person told me like the CIA would use that picture to fucking haunt terrorists to fucking, you know what I mean? To break
like
them.
If they were waterboarding a terrorist or something like that. And look, to recap really quickly, in case you missed that last part of last week's episode, John got very excited because he had been in talks about actually creating a second logo to our current logo. And he was actually excited that he had gotten the logo, the finalized version semi finalized version. So we took it to the test and we brought it out to a few friends, a few loyal listeners, and got their opinion on it. And that's where kind of the comments have been coming from. But we've also thought about putting it out there with just not only on the podcast and making sure that we announce it and we put out a little thing on our website and on Twitter. That's so right. Definitely look forward to this, because we're going to put out some votes on whether or not you think that this should be back in the day with Tecmo Bowl in the late 80s, early 90s, especially when they revived it. Or if this is something they should torture terrorists with and playing like loud heavy metal music and staring into that. Or if you think it might be awesome, I don't know. That is up to you. But we definitely want to see if the current logo that we have versus this logo, or versus both of these suck and you guys don't know what the hell you're doing. That might be option C, and we'd love to hear the feedback on it.
It's probably going to be option C. I just don't know what people don't like about it. What's not to like?
Well, tell us what you like about it. You got to sell it now. Come on.
Yeah,
Mike was doing one side of it. Now you got to sell the other side.
You're salesman.
It's, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, I guess. But it's a clean looking logo. It looks professional. You got the cityscape there, the silhouette with the bold lines, the black and the white. And
it just looks like Smurfs should be jumping out the background to me. You know what I mean? It kind of looks cartoonish.
We have a literal cartoon now, though.
That's true. You know what I mean? So
listen, don't forget you can vote for option C.
Right. So I might hit option C.
All right, so we're gonna have to do some delving on this. I guess maybe make it look realistic. I guess I don't know.
We just started this, guys, so
I wanted it to look more realistic, but they were like, yeah, it's a logo. It's not exactly supposed to be a piece of
I guess the real question would be that if you're listening and you are looking at the logos that we have on the website, right? Which is Mike, what's the website again? Please tell us, because I know it's not short, right? So you got to kind of write this one down. You got to kind of go slow with it, right? And make sure you put all the letters in there. It doesn't matter if they're capital or lowercase. That's not going to make a difference. But there's definitely a few extra words that need to be put in there to get to that website. Mike, how's it go again?
It's one word, but we're gonna have to post a link in our bio so everybody can just click on it, because you might not want to type it. You might be there for fucking 7 days, but it's all one word. It's the BBO NYG podcast and the Mix It Up podcast.com. It's actually pretty simple if you just pay attention, but most people can't pay attention nowadays.
And they do. They once they heard that there was a second name involved, it was like, wait, and there's an end? Is it like that little mark that looks like an end? Is it like the letter N?
Some things it's two websites.
A&D? It's A&D and the Mix It Up podcast. Got it. So got it.
It makes it. Hey, listen, people talking about it. That's all that matters, right? They're trying to find.
Hey, listen, right? That's what what they say, right? Any kind of news and publicity is good news and publicity for the most part, except for maybe in today's day and age. But
one of us
you get what I'm saying. For something that has nothing to do, that's not offensive to anyone, it's really good. Whether or not you love it or hate it, it's not gonna make a difference.
We need to do something.
That's right. The BBO NYG podcast and the Mix It Up podcast.com. Go on there and say to yourself, look at these two logos and look at these two logos hard. Especially, before you know it, right? Everybody's going to be making New Year's resolutions to get back to the gym. You're going to want to get a nice t-shirt. And obviously, I'm speaking more to the guys on this one. But, you're going to get out there. You want to look good in these t-shirts. What t-shirt would you rather be seen in? The one that we currently have on, right? I know me and Mike are wearing the sweatshirts right now. For those of you watching on YouTube, show it up. But, if not, go online. You'll see it. It's on one on Twitter. It's been the one that we kind of created a little while back. And now we have this new one. What would you rather see yourself in? What kind of a t-shirt? Leave the comments. Post these things. Let us know. Hit us up on the DMs. Hit us up at the BBO NYG podcast on Twitter. Yep. All that good shit. All right. And let us know. Tell us the truth. Be as truthful as you possibly can.
Give us quotes.
We love that kind of talk. All right. Just me. There is no way in hell that you could hurt one of our feelings. At least I can say that for myself and Mike. I'm not sure. John, I don't know. He might be on the sensitive side. We're not quite sure yet. We got to see. We know he definitely gets heated on Twitter. That's for sure.
Not anymore. Last 2 weeks, I've been fucking. I basically deleted it off of my fucking phone. nothing good to talk about anymore.
Nah, it's bad. It's so bad. You try to talk anything about the Giants on social media, it's so bad now. It's just it's almost like forget it. If you just want to have a good day, don't even bother looking.
Bro, I saw one of them come in, right? Someone actually. And I know you guys like to call people out and pulling names. To me, I don't even think they're worthy enough to call out their name. And plus, if you're listening and you hear that I'm talking about you, then you should shout that out on Twitter. And then maybe I'll actually call out your name instead of these stupid 1 or 2 comments. I had this guy yesterday pull up, and it was a guy. I'll give you that much of a hint. That's about it. And obviously, you can go on my Twitter handle and you can probably find the comment. So you'll be able to find it. He pulled up one of my tweets from August 24th when I was talking smack about how good our secondary was going to be in particular. Wow. I'm like, dude, fucking December 24th almost, and you're pulling up something from that long ago, and you're just shouting me out about our secondary, where first of all, Peppers was mentioned in it, and I'm like, Peppers ain't even playing, and like, forget it. And like, it was just to like kind of like get on a Dory Jackson and his play. Bro, it was so ridiculous. I couldn't even take it. I'm like, you're really, it's almost like, you know, you got a guy who's beat up, he's trying to get back up, and you're like over there just like sitting on him. Not even kicking him, you're just sitting on him at that point. It's like, how much more shit are you going to pull out about the Giants? Yes, the secondary is not good. You can blame it on the pass rush. You can blame it on Pat Graham. Sure, Bradbury doesn't look like he did last season. McKinney's been a stud though, right? So yeah, we can go back and forth with that nonsense, but yeah, man, I couldn't believe it. Just like you said, stay off of social media because there's just no point. Everybody who hated on the Giants is glowing and feeling great, but then they call themselves Giants fans, and then all of us are just kind of like, man, enough is enough. Like, let's focus on the future and what we got to do and move forward, all right? Because I can't anymore. And you know what? I think this actually kind of leads us into what our next segment is going to kind of focus around. Guys, I know I briefly told you, right? Think of players and personnel and everything related to the Giants organization, okay? So it could be anybody. It could be top to bottom. But I think because of the holidays right here in the corner and Christmas coming on Saturday, we should do a Santa Jules naughty and nice list. And what I want you guys to do is give me 3 players that did not live up to your expectation this season, and you absolutely hate. And if it was Santa Claus, they would be on your naughty list, all right? And then I want you to list 3 players that if you were Santa, they were on your nice list because they did live up to your expectations, okay? And I want to see how close our lists become to one another. And that's why I think this would be a perfect time for us to take a brief commercial break. And we come back with Santa Jules's naughty and nice list for the 2021 season and see how all 3 of our lists look.
Who the fuck told you to fucking do this? Somebody must have told you to fucking
Nobody. All right, Santa Jules is in a given mood.
It gives me time to think of my guys. All right, we'll be right back with Jules's naughty list on the BBO NYG podcast. All right, we are back with the BBO NYG podcast. I am Mike. That's Jules. That's John. Jules got a naughty list. I guess we're going on. Jules, explain that again in case the viewers just came in. What do we have to do exactly?
So look, right, like in the holiday Christmas spirit, right? You know, Santa, all the kids, they make a naughty and nice list, right? Well, instead of it being naughty and nice, right, because that really wouldn't pertain to any kind of a sports team, we make it a failed pick of guys who did not live up to our expectations for this season, okay? And that would be our naughty list. And we do, and again, guys, this doesn't necessarily have to be just players. This is the entire organization, okay? Everybody, there is nobody not on this list because it's Santa Claus and he sees you when you're sleeping, okay?
I'm going all players.
Well, you can do it. Listen, it's whatever you want. 3 naughty guys that did not live up to expectations this season. Wow. Your top 3. And your top 3 guys that you were talked about that were more than meet expectations if you could find any. And that would be your nice list who are definitely going to not have coal in their stockings for Christmas.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready, man.
Mike, you're ready already, huh?
I'm ready.
Man, I'm loving this, bro. I'm loving this.
My naughty list, it's all 3 players are going to be on offense, and then pretty much my good list, whoever's getting milk and cookies or whatever, fucking they're going to be on the fucking defensive side of the ball. So I'll give you the fucking naughty list right now.
Oh boy, here we go.
My bad list, I don't have anybody in offense on there.
Wow, that's what I'm saying. This is where things get mixed up. So, Mike, you want to start with the naughty list? Is that what you want to start with? Because we'll do one list at a time.
Yeah.
Let's start with the naughty list. You get that out of the way. All right. And let me hear your 3 top guys with like a little brief reason behind it, maybe why.
Okay.
Or you could just say for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
okay?
I won't go on.
Who are your top 3 guys? Let's hear it.
I'm not gonna beat a dead horse, but on the naughty list is definitely Nate Soldier. I thought he'd actually come back and play decently. I didn't think he'd be that bad, especially with a year off. I mean, as a veteran, I figured he'd do a lot better than that, but it just proves to the point that his career is over. So he'll be gone. The next one, it's gotta be fucking Will Hernandez, man.
Wow.
Yeah, he had games where he just looked terrible. I thought he was supposed to be our best offensive lineman, and I thought maybe last year was a fluke coming off of COVID. He had a tough year, but he really didn't bounce back that strong like he did in his rookie year. His rookie year was a lot better than this kind of shit. So he's definitely number 2. And my third is going to be, it might shock you guys, but it's going to be Sterling Shepard, man. Like,
wow.
It's just like he cannot stay healthy for us. I'm like, forget Daniel Jones being hurt, 3 years, because I get him being hurt because he's, don't know how to slide. Every time he got hurt, he's going head first. That could be fixed. So I'm not really too worried about that. But Shepard, it's just like every year, man. And then to see him go down, in Sunday's game with Achilles and on that goddamn turf, man. Rip that turf up, rip the practice field up, get that shit out of there, because he wasn't even doing anything. Then boom, torn Achilles. So
contact.
Terrible, fucking terrible, man. So those are definitely my minority list.
He's going to lose a chunk of next year too. I mean, it's basically the end of the year. So even if it's an 8-10 month rehab to get back to playing football, that's already midway through the season.
Right.
So that sucks. I feel bad for fucking Shot, man.
He ain't coming back. He'd be gone.
Yeah, sucks.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate but true.
Well, that's my list. That's my naughty list.
That's the naughty list. They saw the Will Hernandez and Sterling Shepard. All right.
I almost went
up there, John.
So I went a little different direction. Obviously, the offense being as bad as it was, it made sense to have multiple players on the offense on the list. But my mind went more towards my expectations and who let me down the most, I think. I thought Solder would have been a pleasant surprise if he had played, exceptionally well. Hernandez, I did expect to be good. And Shep, he's got a track record of being hurt. So it's not shocking per se that, he did get hurt again a couple of different times. What did surprise me, though, I thought he was my number 2 guy, but Logan Ryan, he talks a big game. He played really well last year, and has some big plays here and there, and he has this so far this year too. But that defense, especially early on, was really, really, really disappointing. And I think, it's those guys' jobs to make sure that they're playing clean, crisp football, like we talked about a few weeks ago, and they just didn't. He hasn't himself, and in turn, the team hasn't around him. So from what I thought he would have been to what he ended up turning out to be this year, you got to be disappointed. As far as I thought a player who was going to step up and become somebody, Lorenzo Carter. He's just been bad pretty much all year. Yeah, I know it's tough to say that after the game he had against Dallas this past week.
Yep.
His best game as a pro. But it's just a coincidence of the timing of the list. But we were thinking he was going to be a player, maybe not 2 sacks, forced fumble, and everything else, but a player who was going to affect the quarterback, be able to make plays in the run game, and be a serviceable player, if not a real good talented guy. And he just hasn't. He just hasn't been. He's been virtually invisible for the vast majority of the season, and been outplayed by Quincy Roche and Azeez Ojulari. Those guys have been far more exciting to watch. And the king one of the 3, as far as on the naughty list and not just complete letdown, is Joe Judge.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
I really thought that what he did last year with the team, and not just what he was saying, which is a part of it, no doubt. Can't deny it. The way the man speaks, communicates both to the media and supposedly to his players and stuff. You can see how much of a teacher he is. You can see that it makes sense for him to have been a good head coach. And you would just thought in year 2 you would have seen more crisp, clean football, and we just didn't. There's just too many times when the players who were supposed to help this team win games just didn't. Weird usages of time, just not having the guys disciplined, so many penalties and stuff like that. And I want him back for year 3. I'm not saying I want to get rid of him, but I think from what it looked like it could be going into this year versus what we actually got, we thought it was filet mignon, and we ended up getting some side truck, fucking food truck
So
taco.
Joe Judge is getting a big fat bag of coal in his stocking.
Dude, it's tough. It's tough.
Hey,
So-
no complaints there. Well, listen, I kind of did a little combination similar to John, right? So I definitely went with a couple players and then another name as well. But the first one on my
If you
list.
say Dave Gettleman, I'm signing off.
No, I thought about it. I honestly did think about it. But no.
Yeah.
Actually, the number one guy that popped in my head when I thought of this thing and I put it on the list, Saquon Barkley. I'm sorry, guys. I drafted this guy on so many teams, especially when I heard he was healthy, especially when I started hearing that he was at least going to see some action the first couple of weeks. I didn't expect the guy to come out. I said that a million times in the past, in the podcast and all that kind of shit, that he was not going to come out and get 30 carries. I said all that.
Right.
But with that said, especially when you watch some of this game from last week where Booker T actually almost outplayed him. Unacceptable, uncalled for. Dude, he was the biggest disappointment on my list as far as this Giants team is concerned this year. I put so much hope and effort into him. Granted, sure, offensive line, receivers, this and that, but not when you see backup running backs a little bit more efficient behind that line at times. Not all the time, of course, but like they hit the hole harder. They get more yards. They're out producing him in certain games. That is not what Saquon Barkley was drafted to do and be on this team. So hugely disappointed in him. However, he's got 2 more weeks of fantasy left, and I am alive in a couple of leagues with him. So I do need him to step the hell up, at least in 1 or 2 leagues. So hopefully he shuts me the hell up. But for now, he's waking up to a bag of coal in his stocking. All right. The second guy, another guy, offensive player, who I was huge on. Said, yeah, fine, maybe the injury bug. But other than that, this guy should be a fucking stud. Now, thankfully, when it comes to this guy, I used my head. I didn't take him on any team, but that's Kenny Gallaudet. All right, the guy was coming in. And if you think about it from a fantasy perspective, this guy was getting taken as the lower end number 1 wide receiver last year in Detroit. And he got hurt and whatever, and that brought him down a little bit. And then people were skeptical that Daniel Jones couldn't throw him. But this guy didn't do anything. You mean to tell me that Kenny Gallaudet couldn't have 1 100-yard game receiving, one maybe 10 catch game? I mean, shit, even Tony did that this year. Like, has he even caught a touchdown yet? I mean, go, dude, this is ridiculous. And we made him the highest paid free agent wide receiver for 2021. Mm-hmm. Huge disappointment. He should get smacked in the head with the bag of coal. And then last but not least, all right, you're only as good. It starts from the top and it works its way down. And no, I'm not going to go with Judge, but he can get an honorable mention. John Mara. All right. Shame on fucking you, Mr. John Mara, to say that you are the owner of the Giants during their worst 5-year stretch in their entire franchise history. That's correct. It's official. This is by far the worst 5-year stretch out of any 5 years throughout the entire existence of the New York Giants football team. That's just disgraceful. You're the owner. You hire certain people to be here. You hire them to do the job, and they ain't getting the job done. So you said everybody gets called out, and at least I'm going to call you out. John Mara, not only do you get coal in your stocking, you get that shit all around the Christmas tree. So that's my naughty list, gentlemen. But to end more so on a positive note, right, and keep the festive spirit alive. There are some nice people out there, and there are ones that deserve good things underneath the Christmas tree and whatever they sat on Santa's lap and asked for. So to start that up, John, you want to start this one? Who are your 3 nice guys and guys that, if not overachieved, but definitely lived up to some of the hype that you were talking about preseason?
So, unfortunately, this is a little bit of patchwork. It was a little bit harder to do this on anybody would have liked.
Fair enough.
I felt good about Andrew Thomas going into the season, and he's played well, especially in the beginning of the season before he got hurt. He was one of the best left tackles in football, period. It was fun to watch him. He was dominating. He got hurt, and not that he's been bad. Not that he hasn't even been good, because he's been good. But he's what you, at least we can feel comfortable regardless of Saquon, Jones, whoever. We can feel good about Andrew Thomas going forward at left tackle. So he's on the nice list. Dory Jackson has been probably the most consistent defensive player that we've had this year. So I'm gonna go him.
Wow.
Then,
okay.
Yeah, Dory Jackson's been good, man. He's been good.
He's our best fucking free agent signing, you know.
He's got to be right now, yeah. And then based on the first month and a half of the season, and then after fucking everybody got hurt and he was throwing to fucking Farrell Cooper and fucking whoever else, David Sills. Daniel Jones was one of the most efficient best quarterbacks in the NFL. And I'm not going to let the last couple of like 2-3 bad games that he had. I don't even know if it was really 2-3 bad games, just unproductive games because of the offense and everything else that was going on around him. When he had a decent left tackle and his weapons, he had the New Orleans game, he had the Washington game where he played well. Obviously, you would have wanted to see them more consistent, but that's why it's a team game. Maybe this is more of an indictment on the fact that there was really not much else to be excited about as to why Jones made the list, more than Jones himself making the list on his own merit. But to give a good reason, the first month and a half of the season, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL as far as an efficiency standpoint and playing the quarterback position as well as you can.
All right. Well, he's maybe he can get Daniel Jones a new ligament in his neck for Christmas time, right? So he comes back even better next season. All right, Mikey, who do you got for your nice list? 3 guys, come on, 3 guys that stepped it up for you.
Well, first off, just getting back to John Mara real quick, like he dug his own grave when he fucking fired Tom Coughlin. Okay, that's just everything went downhill since then. But anyway, I'm feeling festive. So I got 3 guys that had fucking that had a good season in my eyes. And one proved my point because I've been talking about him for a couple of years ever since we traded for him, gave up a 3rd and a 5th for him, was Leonard Williams. Boom. Like he's been our beast. Like he's been our beast. Like he shows up. Like he could have easily sat out last week with a tricep injury, I believe he had. But he fucking got his way, went back out there. Like he didn't want to miss a game. I mean, that's leadership right there, man. If you're looking at why our defense is playing pretty good this year, sure, they had their moments or whatever, but you know, he's the guy, man. He's the leader on the team. So I'm glad that was one of the best traits was getting him here. Another one I would say is probably Jules, your boy Aziz. Like he really
bro. I just wrote that down.
I
just wrote that down.
Like, I mean, come
on,
man.
Gonna say I could have got him.
Like, I mean, let's be real. Like, he's been pretty awesome. So if we get another pass rusher and team up with Aziz and Leonard Williams, I mean, that might just help the defense right off the bat, man. And probably the 3rd, like I wanted to go to Andrew Thomas because John, exactly what everything you said. But man, it's a tough one for here. Like I want to go back to the defense because I kind of like the way he started playing was Quincy Roche, man. Like he had good games. I think he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be like a rotational player for us for the next few years, that he could come in and we won't really, miss a step by one of our starters going out, so if he could be part of that rotation going forward, I think this defense has has what it takes, man. I mean, we got a lot of draft picks and, maybe they can make something happen without have to cutting everybody like everybody's panicking over just to get some salary cap money.
Right. Well, listen, and guys, I put this up to you last second. I didn't even tell you about it till we came on air. Isn't that fair? I just said think of players and personnel before the show started. So the reason why I'm kind of saying this is because Mike, I got to kind of start where you started, man. Of course, Leonard Williams was definitely on my list as far as the nice is concerned. Like number 1, yes, he's been playing pretty damn good football considering everything that's been going on all season with the defense and the team in general. But to see that they were at one point talking that he might miss the rest of the season, and this guy showed up and played against Dallas, had 3 tackles. He didn't do much else, but he was there. He was still a threat. He created, disrupted, and that's what you do, man. That's a leader right there. To step on the field when you're on a team that has 4 wins for the season, you're not going anywhere. The season is pretty much done, and still go out there when you could literally sit on the sideline and be hurt. Shit, I'm sorry, but that earned the hell out of my respect. So even if you don't like him, you got to respect the type of player he is because he played when he wasn't supposed to. And yes, hands down, Leonard Williams. And of course, now we're going into my other one. Of course, and again, Mike, this is why I mentioned what I did before. No, we did not put this together, but my man with 42 tackles, 8 sacks, a forced fumble as a rookie. Man, I told you I creamed my pants when we get drafted Ojulari in the second round earlier this year. Hell yeah, he makes my list. And hopefully this is just the start of things to come. He's got 2 more games left. I really hope he gets at least 2 more sacks. Oh, excuse me, 3 more games to come. I hope he can at least get 2 to 3 more sacks in that, so he'll get double digits for his first season. Hell of a year. The kid should only get better. And if we do get that pass rusher, man, sky's the limit. And then the third one, I'm surprised none of you guys mentioned it. It was my other guy, but it was from last year, okay? And that's one Xavier McKinney, okay? This guy coming in, not even playing a full season, has 73 tackles, 5 interceptions, 9 pass deflections. I mean, what more do you want this dude to do? He's a ball hawk. He brought that Alabama skill to the NFL. He's fucking going to tell Parsons that the NFL is too slow for him, all right? So that's my other dude right there, Xavier McKinney.
I didn't pick him because I knew you were taking him.
I was coming big with them, huh? Yes, I had a little bit of an issue with the third guy, but seeing Leonard Williams playing against Dallas this past weekend, that's why he summed it up. And no, you know what? I think everybody on this offense sucks. All right. They have sucked this year. Everybody on this offense for the New York Giants was a disappointment. So that's why none of them made my nice list. But Ojulari, McKinney, and Leonard Williams, without a doubt. I guess Ojulari and Leonard Williams get it twice, so they get 2 presents under the tree. Well, that's our segment of all players that we think disappointed or actually were impressive for a down year again for the New York Giants football team. Anyhow, I think that leads us to our number 1 segment so far, right? The pickup segment.
Love it.
Shout out. I guess quick
shout out to
break.
Well, yeah, we could take a quick break and come right back in it. But like before we get into picks, like shout out to the user of this pool, like saying one of the guys was cheating. I didn't believe him at first, but then I started thinking in my head, I was like, how do you jump up like 30 points in 1 week? I'm like, I don't even know if that's like humanly possible. Like, you know, even if you picked every game right, you know what I mean? I'm like, that just
money
makes
sense.
Everything. Yeah, Moneyball everything. So they fix it. So now like we'll mention the standings when we get right back. So everybody still has a chance. So we'll be right back on the BBO NYG podcast. All right, we are back. Guys, the pick and pool segment, everybody's favorite thing. You guys ready?
So Mike, explain to us really quickly, because even myself was a little cloudy on how this occurred. What happened and how is this person able to jump ahead like they did? And what were they doing that they figured out a loophole, if you would, in the system?
Well, I guess the loophole was for some reason, like this one account he couldn't enter picks. So he had to email Play Action Pools to manually enter his picks. So whatever happened with that the past few weeks, like they were giving him like extra points for some strange reason. And so like, you know, it was like a little glitch in the matrix. So it's fixed now. We updated the standings. Now Woody went back in the lead where he was
did that son of a bitch
all year. He's at 148.5. Rob's down to 145.5, the cheater. Then you got King Glue at 140, Nancy right there, John at 139. And then we're down. The Big Blue Offensive is down to 133. So
3 weeks left, man. We can catch this. We got to put our heads together now. That's it.
We need work. She's at 139.
And then 144 is the lead?
148. So.
And a half.
And a half. So it's close, man. It's close. But we got work to do, guys. So.
All right.
Let's start it up, man. Let's start it up.
Gotta go at Thursday Night Football.
Oh, we got Thursday, we got Saturday, we got Christmas Day, we got Sunday. All right, the first game on Thursday night, it's the 49ers. They're in Nashville to play the Titans. 49ers are -3 away favorites.
49ers are hot. And Tennessee, I'm telling you, look, their chicken's hot down there, but that's about it. And I don't trust them right now. I know they have some running game going. I'm still skeptical if the receivers are healthy, but I think San Francisco's too hot not to pick them.
Yeah, they're hot. I'm taking San Fran too. San Fran on fire. All right, next game.
I'm gonna lay a challenge out for you guys.
Uh-oh.
It's 9-7.
Challenge.
Let's see how fast we can get through these games.
All right. You started. All right. Next game. Packers are home -8 against the Browns on Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, huh? Well, you know what? I guess we could do another naughty nice list, but no, we won't. We don't have time for that. Does Cleveland have a quarterback?
I think Baker comes back. Baker comes back off of COVID.
Baker does come back, man. Still, it's in Lambeau on Christmas Day. They have the color green on their uniform. I got to go Pack -8.
I got to go Browns getting the points. I think it's.
You're going to sit Brown on Christmas Day?
They can run the ball.
Sit Brown on Christmas Day, man. You got green, gold.
John, it's up to you.
Where are you at with this?
Nah, Packers in front of the world. Aaron Rodgers, late season in Lambeau. I'm going Packers.
Makes sense. Packers it
is. Especially with the Packers controlling their own destiny at this point to have the number 1 seed, which is the only one that gets a bye this year.
But Browns
to keep in mind.
Browns are also fighting for the playoff spot.
They are.
Is there anything funnier than watching the Packers be great all season and then losing the playoffs every year?
I know. It always happens, right? It's fucking weird.
Like they lose like more games in the playoffs than they do in the regular season. It's bananas.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, man. That's why only one team can win it all year. Let's see. The next game is this Christmas night game. This should be a good game. Colts are in Arizona for Christmas. It's a 0.5 point. Cardinals are the favorite by 0.5 point.
I mean, it's pretty cool, right? We definitely are getting some decent games on Christmas Day. So there will be some good NFL football, some fantasy things going on, some gambling going on. I think that the Cardinals might finally be exposed. Yes, they have a good defense, but they can be run on. And listen, if you're into fantasy with the semis coming along this week, you know, there's a lot of people with JT in the house, and they're projecting him to be the best running back in fantasy for this week. So 0.5 point. Yes, it's on the road. I'm on Colts, man. They've been fucking red hot, and they're slowly creeping up as being one of the favorites in the AFC.
I like the Colts too, man. They're playing hot.
I'm all about it. Colts are showing you why running backs do matter.
Yeah, exactly. Making fucking Wentz looks fucking halfway decent. All right, next game. Oh, ugly game. This starts this Sunday off after the fucking hangover on Christmas. Is the Jets are at home. They're -1 against the Jaguars. The Jets better.
John, just say heads or tails. Heads. All right, let's see what happens here. All right. It's heads. I'm going to go with the Jets. That's how I feel about that game. There is no way to pick this fucking thing. I was thinking the Jets. I said heads. Okay, I had in my head the Jets. I flipped it. It came out heads. I'm going with the Jets.
I watched the Jaguars play. I'm going with Jets, John. I watched the Jaguars play ball with their new coach. It wasn't pretty. Jets are at home. I'll take the Jets, man. Next game.
Want the Jets to finish with as many wins as we have.
I want them to win. You know, I want the Jets to win. Falcons.
And Jacksonville used to be the worst team, and let the Jets fight for the Bears fight for the next 3 spots.
Yeah, they were right there with them. Falcons. They're at home. They're -6. Fuck the Falcons against the Lions.
I mean,
I pick the Lions every week. I'm picking them again.
They were looking kind of decent. I feel like the Lions. I feel like the Lions have gotten a little hot, like in a weird way for Detroit. I'm gonna go Lions. I think on this. Give me the points.
All right, Lions. It is. All right, next game.
Oh, you were on the Lions as well. All right.
I fuck the Falcons. Fuck them. Tampa Bay away, coming after a shutout, which lost all my parlays, by the way, on Sunday night. Funny, let me just say, funny how, when Tom Brady loses 3 of his offensive weapons, it's not his fault, and nobody wants to fire the coach or the GM on Tampa Bay, right? But let me just fucking not get into it. Tampa Bay -10.5.
And don't forget now he doesn't want receivers to be hitting the knees and every other position. So how the fuck are you supposed to tackle a wide receiver, Tom? How, what, I have to tackle him around the waist? I can't go high. I can't go low. I got to hit him dead in the middle or else I can't tackle him. And God forbid if the wide receiver is running by me, I can't lunge at his leg. So I don't know what fucking Tom wants, but I guess he just wants his receivers healthy.
Turn into like football.
Yeah, seriously. With that said, I think the Bucs bounce back in a big way. I would be shocked. Antonio Brown is suiting up, I heard, for this game. They'll get a running game. I know they brought in Le'Veon Bell, but they ain't going to do shit. They'll get a decent running game from them. They'll get what they need. You know, Mike Evans will still be out there. Gronk will still be out there. They're going to fucking light Carolina up.
Yeah, I actually feel bad for the Panthers.
Tom Brady coming after a shutout. You know, he's probably going to go throw for like 5 fucking touchdowns.
I like the first time he got shut out like in 30 years. I don't even know.
All right. Moving on. Next game. Here we go. Eagles are at home. They're -10. That's our kryptonite. Fuck the Eagles, even though we beat them past 2 in a row. But I don't know who started. Is it gonna be Jake Fromm? It doesn't matter. Mike Leonard, don't matter. We're probably gonna get fucking crushed again. Can't score points.
First of all, I think it's an insult that we're a double-digit underdog regardless. But yeah, everything you said, Mike, it's hard to pick against. So Eagles, I guess it is.
I hate my life.
I hate them. I know. I just move on.
I know.
Just move on.
I pressed that button. I felt dirty.
Jake Fromm can move the ball. I think Jake Fromm can move the ball. I think they're going to keep it closer than 10 points.
I think he's going to score 0 points. I don't even think he's going to get in the end zone once.
Watch. I was calling out Kenny Gallaudet. We were making fun of Jake Fromm. And this is Kenny Gallaudet's best game on Sunday, all right? And Barkley runs for like 80, 90 yards. And fucking Gallaudet has 100 yards receiving. And Jake Fromm is the new fucking star of New York, right?
Right.
Sure. Right. That's going to happen. And I'm going to find $1 million briefcase on the my Christmas tree this Saturday.
For real. Fucking real, man. Like I know he's not going to score 1 touch. I'll bet anybody he won't get in the end zone once. All right. Anyway, moving on. Next game, Rams. They're away. They're in Minnesota, and the Rams are only -3 against the Vikings. Fuck the Vikings, right?
Yes, but there's got to be some sort of trap going on that we're not aware of. We're missing. I mean, Cooper Kupp is the best wide receiver in the NFL this year. Only 3-point, but I know Vikings fans will agree that this literally always is like a letdown for them. They get the hopes up. They look like they can make the playoffs, and then they disappoint. I think they lose this game. They probably win next week, and then maybe even the week after. I got to check the matchups. But, yeah, I have to go Rams on this week. That's who I'm picking.
Bro, there's a realistic chance Cooper Kupp's going to have 2,000 yards this season.
And
he's at 16-25 with 3 games to play. He needs 125 yards a game.
Damn.
On average, which is he's been averaging more than that, or just about at least. And he's gonna go for 2,000 as a receiver, bro.
That's nuts.
That only
double-digit touchdowns, over 100 catches, and 2,000 yards receiving.
You're talking 15,
that's like
17,
John Madden
18,
shit right there.
Yeah, bro. That's fucking Madden for real.
Motherfucker.
With that said, I'm picking the Rams.
I drafted him the past 2 years of fantasy before this year. Didn't do dick, and now he's fucking blowing up. All right.
What does that tell you now, Mike?
I know. I suck. Wow, I'm too old to play fantasy football.
What his average is.
You're never too old for fantasy football.
Fucking shot. All right. Next game. Bengals. They're at home. They're -3 against the Ravens. Ravens coming off a couple tough losses, man.
And Lamar, is he 100% healthy? Or is he not? I don't know.
He probably plays this week, right?
I guess he plays this week, but then again, that line would switch. Maybe it's an early line and they're just kind of waiting to see the health on him. I don't know. It's just tough, man, because I think the Bengals are a more desperate team at home, and they absolutely need this win, or else it's a wrap for them kind of this season, especially with the Steelers creeping on them and the Browns. And man, this is a tough one. I'm going to go Bengals. I think the Bengals exposed the Ravens on this game.
Yeah, I'll take the Bengals.
Lamar Jackson didn't practice today.
Who?
Lamar Jackson did not practice today.
Yeah. All the more reason to go Bengals -3. But again, like if I was really picking this for Sunday, I would not bet that game. Yeah, there's just too many question marks. Bengals are too up and down as a team in general. Their defense looks great one day, and then the next looks like crap. I don't know if Joe Mixon's healthy. Like they got question marks too. That's a true stay away game if you're gambling this weekend, at least in my opinion.
I'll give you another stay away game.
This next one coming up?
Right? Yep. The Bills are away. They're in New England. New England's home. They're -2.5. So they're another home favorite.
I hate that 2.5 point spread. I tell you that all the time.
Hi.
Vegas puts that out there as a tease. It's a friggin' trap. There's a reason why they do it. It should just be a 3, but no, they put it 2.5. So they you know what it is? Vegas does that on purpose because literally they get just enough of a bet to go both ways. And they literally kind of cross that game out with one another because there's those people that are sitting there going, are you kidding me at home? We don't even have, we got to win by as a field goal. Hell yeah, we're going to beat the Bills. And you got all the Buffalo fans and the Mafia coming through and they're like, what? Wait a minute. We're almost getting a field goal. We're going to fucking beat this team. And literally the bets just come pouring in. And even the bet makers and the odds and people who gamble, it's a tough game to call. But I think the Bills get their revenge. I think the Bills are still going to win the AFC East, and they're going to have to by going through this game. So, yeah, hell yeah, I'll take the 2.5 points without a doubt.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be bad weather. I don't think the Patriots are going to run the ball 98 times again. So I'll take that.
Fair enough. I know Cole Beasley's out, so I don't know if that makes a factor in that player. But that is a notable injury to mention.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. All right, next game. Chargers are away. They're in Houston. Chargers are minus 9.5.
Dude, they're red hot. Herbert looks good. They should have won and beat the Chiefs. There was some very, very bad play calling. Going for it on 4th down. They kind of shot themselves in the foot. They need to get right against the Texans. I don't care if Texas is at home. They're the worst team in the NFL. I like the Chargers all day, even if Austin Eckler doesn't play. I think Herbert's strong enough that he can still carry that team, and they should win by double digits.
I agree. Chargers it is. Next game, Seattle's at home. They're minus 6.5 against the Bears.
Oh, I just wanted Seattle become a fucking 6.5 point favorite.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I honestly think that this game is a lot closer than it should be. And I see Seattle winning, but I don't think they win by 7. So I would go Bears. Believe it or not, I'm going Bears on this one. I know it sounds weird, but I just got a weird feeling about the Bears.
I know I don't want to root for the Bears, but I kind of agree. I think it's going to be a sweat, those type of games at the end where we're sweating. Like either they cover, like it could be a play here and there. So, yeah, I could actually see that game going in overtime, to be honest with you.
Some weird shit like that for sure.
And I'll take
unless the Bears are just playing dead and laying down, but then why would they want to? They don't even have their first round pick. So yeah, they want to screw the Giants. Come on.
What the fuck?
If it was their pick, they might lay down in Seattle, but I don't see it. There'll be no sleepers in Seattle this game against Chicago.
There you go. All right. The next game, Chiefs, they're at home. They're minus 8 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. There was a lot of Chiefs going on the COVID list today, so
yeah, Harrison Butker's on that list. They don't have their kicker.
I don't know how it's going to impact that game. So it's tough.
I actually like the Steelers a lot. Fuck the Chiefs. The Chiefs need to get knocked back down to reality. They're a good team, but they're not all of a sudden the greatest team going and blah, blah, blah. They're going to win. The Giants should have beat them. They had some bad losses. No, they didn't correct shit. They played bad teams, okay? And what? They beat a good team? Cool. You're supposed to win some teams against good teams when you're a team that was just in the Super Bowl last year, won it the year before, was in the AFC Championship the year before that. Like, give me a break. They were a good organization, a great team. Pat Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best in the league. Yeah, they're going to win games. But I'm telling you, this is when the Steelers do this kind of shit. Just when you think they're down, they get up off the canvas and they knock it back down on your ass. And that's what the Steelers do. So, yeah, I think the Steelers figure it out some way. They're already saying that Tyreek Hill might not play. Already Harrison Butker's out. Take the points before that line changes and take the Steelers.
I agree. 100%.
I disagree. I'm going Chiefs.
I'll go with the Steelers too. I agree with Jules. Too many what ifs with the COVID fucking list. It's kind of fucking with teams now.
Yep.
If it wasn't that, I would have taken the Chiefs all day. Plus that weird spread is just 8. I hate when it's like 8. You know what I mean? It's stupid fucking spread. So Steelers it is. All right, next game. I love this game. The Raiders, they're at home. They're going against the Broncos. It's going to be Drew Lock because Teddy Bridgewater went out with a bad looking injury on Sunday. So I'm Raiders all day.
Yeah, I mean, no Teddy Bridge. I got to go Raiders at home.
Here we go. Next game. Here we go. Cowboys, they're at home. They're minus 10.5 against Washington football team.
Why? Why?
I don't know. I like Washington, to be honest with you. They showed some kind of fight in them with Gilbert Godfrey fucking quarterback in the team yesterday. I'll take football.
And isn't it true that Heineke might be back for this game or something like that?
He's got to be. I think because didn't Cowboys humiliate them in Washington a couple weeks ago? Like, it was pretty bad. So I think that's maybe like revenge.
No, Washington made that sick late comeback where they actually made the game like very, very close, and
they did
the lock. Yeah. They were getting blown out in the first half. And then in the second half, Washington actually made a really good game out of it. And they actually almost came back. Dak started throwing all this. But you know what? Dak hasn't been right. That whole team has not been right. They were begging the Giants to beat them this past week.
I know.
And we dropped the football, no pun intended, but we did. And that's what happened in there. So, yeah, you know what? Y'all, you want to give me double-digit points in a division rivalry game after Washington just got beaten after COVID and all this shit, and they want to come back and they got their quarterback? Yeah, they might try to win this game and actually beat Dallas because they're going to hope that somehow we beat Philly, even though we know that ain't going to happen. So, yeah, I like Washington.
Washington it is. All right, last game, Monday night game. Oh, this is terrible Monday night game. Saints are at home. They're -3 against the Dolphins. I don't know.
Oh, God, I hate this game. I am going to go with the home team, and they're going to show that Miami's not as good as everybody's raping them out to be.
I agree.
Yeah, got to go Saints. All right, so we need
some money balls now, guys. So did we have one that was overwhelming that we all agreed upon, and there was like no doubt?
Was it the Colts? Was it the Lions?
Colts. It was the Colts. All right, so the Colts is the official BBO NYG podcast Moneyball pick. So that would be the Colts minus plus a half a point, right?
Yep.
All right, so John, what is your Moneyball pick? And please do not say the New York Giants. I'm kidding.
It was going to be the Giants. Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Oh, you guys take the Steelers, right?
We took the Steelers. We took the Steel curtain. Well, we'll make a record, though. We'll put that on record that you said the Chiefs as your Moneyball pick, even though Mike and I agreed on the Steelers, and the BBO NYG is going to go with the Steelers. But all right, you're on record.
Packers, huh? Packers.
Go, Pack, go.
Packers fucked up my fucking parlay. They were -5 last week and fucking let Baltimore fucking.
You see, Mike, this is why you can't really do good at fantasy football anymore. You hold too much with the gambling, all right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Fucking Cooper Kupp dropped the pass in the end zone, and that would have covered for you. You now hate the guy. You won't draft him in a year when he has 140 catches, 2,000 yards, and 25 touchdowns. All right, I got it. You wonder why we're having with fantasy.
I hold grudges, man. Well, what can I say? Bills, do you want to go? Like, I think I got mine.
You think you got yours?
Yeah, I think
all right.
Got mine.
Let's hear it.
I think it's going to be the Jets.
Whoa. Didn't you do the Jets like a couple weeks back? And remember how that turned out? No.
I don't want to talk about that. But, yeah, that's mine, man. Now it's up to you. The last one.
I have a couple in mind, but you know what? This one's going to come back to me, and I don't care. I'm going to do it. It's on it. You know what? Fuck Mac Jones. I'm going to go with the Bills Mafia, and I like them as my Moneyball pick. All right. Yeah, I know it's ballsy, but I like it. I know Cole Beasley. I get it. You know what? They need to bounce back. They need to win that game. They can still make the playoffs and lose, but that's not what they need to do. They need to – this is it. That fucking fluke game in Buffalo was what it was, a horrible weather game where a guy was able to run the ball 45 times and beat you. You need to fucking step up against a division rival and prove that shit to be a fluke. Because if not, you're not a good team anymore. You're not going to go far in the playoffs, and you're not worth what you think you are. So that's why I think they're a Moneyball pick this week.
There we go. That's it.
All right, so that's it. The picks are in. You have our naughty, nice list for the Christmas season of guys who disappointed or overachieved or thought that were, impressed like we thought they would for as far as the New York Giants were concerned, whether or not being part of the roster, the organization in general. But you know, with that, listen, happy holidays again. You know what? It's Christmas this coming weekend, so everybody that celebrates Christmas, Merry Christmas, all right? From the BBO NYG podcast. Merry Christmas, John. Merry Christmas, Mike. All right, Merry Christmas to all.
Yeah.
Good night, and we'll see you next week, all right? Tune into the BBO NYG podcast. We're out. Merry Christmas.
Peace.